So I first started with the Liberty Aquarium when I was looking for a new sea cert opportunity. I actually used to work out the campus farm, which is also like eco-related and stuff like that. So that was also up my alley, but they closed that down. And then I had always been around the science hall and noticed the aquarium, and it was in pretty rough shape. Every so often when I would come by, and I was like, with our resources, we could be doing a lot more with that. So I contacted the right people and then got plugged in. And then I just kind of took over the project. I was the only person on the project at the time. There were a few people doing like regular maintenance stuff, like cleaning the glass and things like that. And then, so I got plugged in with them too. And then we kind of started up a more routine schedule for things. I started investing a little bit more in just better quality stuff, and then the tank kind of started to flourish from there. So that was really good. So the touch tank started as kind of just an idea. I had kind of been to a lot of different places as far as like the Roanoke Aquarium. They had like a small touch tank there and stuff like that. And I was like, well, they're not that much work, and I thought it would be really cool because one of the main things that the zoology class studies is actually sea urchins and bivalves and starfish. So instead of looking at something in a textbook, I said, there's no reason that we can't get these organisms in here and actually be able to observe and study them ourselves, other than just having either a dead specimen or something. So I ended up kind of posing the thought in question to a few of the faculty, and then I also entertained the idea, well, we could also do research with these organisms. They don't just have to be for show and display. So I plugged in with a few other professors, and sea urchins are actually really good for embryo research, so we actually started using them for that. And they also double for display organisms and things that the students can actually hands-on interact with. So we got approval, and within a few months we had it up and running, and it's been doing really well so far. So in our 90-gallon, we currently have a blue ribbon eel, which is actually wild caught out of the Pacific. And then we have two Ocellaris clownfish. They're actually a mated pair. And then we have a flame angel, which is from Indonesia. And then we have a lot of different corals that are kind of from a lot of various parts of the globe, but we tried to maintain like a pretty specific area. So mostly Indo-Pacific all the way to like Australian coastlines. We also have a bicolored goby. We also have a royal grama and some sea urchins. Well, one sea urchin in there, and then we have a coral banded shrimp. So, and then, the tank as a whole, it's interesting. Like, there's a lot of components that come together to make it what it is as a reef, but you really could look at the whole entire thing as its own organism, if you will. It's just a system of organisms kind of all living together and kind of having to work off one another to survive. So, yeah. So currently, the next step, I think, is going to be coral propagation, and then soon after that, I would like to start a super coral research project. The super coral is an idea of genetically modifying, either passively or intentionally, with corals, and allowing them to become stronger organisms, and eventually reintroducing them back into the oceans to rebuild the coral reefs that are dramatically being devastated at an astounding rate currently because of climatic change and pollution and a lot of other different causes. So the whole idea is sustainability, and this can go beyond just coral. It can go into fish too. There's an island in Hawaii that used to be called the Golden Shore because of the yellow tang population was so high that when ships first got there, the waves would crest and it would look gold because of the number of these yellow-colored fish. And now the population has dwindled down so much that that's beyond what we could even imagine right now. So sustainability is kind of the idea behind teaching a lot of this stuff. And As far as the super cool project, we'd be working specifically with brain coral. They produce their own embryos, so we can actually crossbreed them and get them to form new organisms with different types of gene expression. So that would be the hope with that. Right now, it's kind of teaching general fragging to a lot of the students and the CSERT students that we're working with. So.